Okay, so in this video we'll go through problems 5 and 6 of the midterm exam. And what we have here is a multi-view drawing, front view, right view, top view, and the blue dot is to indicate where the origin of the part is going to be. So I'm going to start off by making the front view. So I'll go ahead and create a sketch on the front plane. I'll utilize the center point rectangle tool so that defines the origin of the part. The part has a height of 4 and a width of 6. And we know that there's this little triangular cutout. We know it goes all the way through the part. So we'll go ahead and we can put a center line in, make it vertical. We'll go from the center point, go directly up from that. And we'll go back to the line tool and we'll just create one line, come down to the center line we've just drawn and go back up again. We can actually drag this point to the middle of the center line that we've just put in, or we can find it, select here and select here and make those two coincident to each other. That'll give me the correct height. We know that this line is 2, so this is 1. And the only thing we need to do is select here, select the center line, select that, and make those symmetric to each other. And then we only need to put in a single dimension from this point to the center line and make that distance 1. So once we do this, we can then extrude it out, and the depth is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll do features, extruded boss. We'll select the interior, and now we need to make sure that we extrude this in the correct direction. We want to go back from the origin, so we'll flip and we'll set the distance to 4. So again, we can always double check by hovering over the origin to make sure that we have the origin in the correct location. We can now see that there's going to be a triangular cutout that we can look for from the right hand side. So I'll go sketch, I'll select the right hand side, and we can make this cutout. We know that we know where the origin is. We know that this goes back 2, which is halfway, so we can pretty much put this in without having to put any dimensions. Make sure we just grab the center point. We'll grab the origin and we'll finish off the triangle. And we can do a features, extruded cut, and we can choose to go through all. And now if we actually throw this into hidden line view, and we can double check what we have, Control 1 shows us that we are missing 2 vertical lines here, so there's some additional feature. We go to the right, we have this line again, but we again don't have, we know there's going to be some feature across here, and we see what that feature needs to be when we go to the top. We note that there's hidden lines here, so there's triangular cutouts that are going to remove material here and go up a distance of 2. So we'll go back to that view and we can do a sketch on the bottom of the part. To make sure we go in the correct direction though, we can look at it from this view, even though we're sketching on the bottom of the part. I will again put in a center line so I can make use of symmetry over here. And I'll utilize my line tool, grabbing that vertex, coming down to the front, finishing off the triangle on this side. I could mirror it, but in this case I'll just do it all as a single feature. And a cut here because now I just need to put in 1 dimension from here to this line. Gives me a distance of 2. And then I can just, holding down my control key, select this line, the center line and this line here and make them symmetric to each other. I can then do features, extruded cut, and I can either go up to a distance of 2, or in this case I can select up to vertex and I can select that point there, and the extruded cut will go up to that distance. Again, you could have just set a blind distance of 2. So again, let's take a look at our views. We look at the front view, again verifying that our origin is in the correct location. Let me again look at it in hidden line view. Go to the right hand view, everything looks correct, again verifying that our origin is in the correct place, and then viewing it from the top. Okay, so we're asked for the center of masses. Let me put this back into shaded view. We'll go to evaluate mass properties. So in this case, we find out that the center of mass was the z location of the center of mass. It's negative 2.38. We can also verify that the surface area is 111.52 square inches and the volume is 65.67 cubic inches. All right, so that was problem 5. If we go and we had to do some additional modifications, so that was problem 6. So we have a couple different views here. There's something happening in the front view where we have all the dimensions, and then there's something in the right view that gave us all the dimensions. So what we see here is that we're modifying this triangular cutout to add in a circular cutout. So what we'll do here is we will go to the front plane. Now we could do this in different manners. I could roll back the part and go ahead and modify this original sketch, or we can add it in as a new feature. I'm going to choose to add it in as a new feature, so I'll select the front plane, create a new sketch, and in this case I will draw a circle. We note that the circle is centered here. So we'll take a center point circle and we will put in the radius is 1.65. I'll put it in as a diameter. So put it in as 2 times 1.65, which gives me a diameter of 3.3. Now there's a horizontal line. Drag it over across the circle, and that has a distance of 0.5. Oh, I'm still in. And that has a distance, using the Smart Dimension tool, of 0.5. So I can now use this sketch as my cutting tool. So I'll do features, extruded cut, and the material I want to cut out is from this top circle, and I want to go through all. So again, Control-1 to view it from the front, and we see that the shape looks correct. We note that there's 2 0.6 fillets for these 2 edges. We'll put those in using the fillet tool. So set the fillet parameter to 0.6, and we will select this edge and this edge. Again, using Control-1 to verify that the front of the part looks correct. So if I do it in hidden line mode, we'll see that everything looks right, except for we don't see these circular parts over here. And again, if I go to the top view, we note that we have a lot of the solid lines correct. And again, we note that there's something going on here on the triangular section. So there are these circles. So again, I'll go back into shaded line mode. And in this case, I'm going to do a sketch on the right plane. Okay, so I'll select the right plane, start a new sketch, and I'll just create my 2 circles. Just like I did in one of the previous problems, I'll go ahead and create a horizontal center line. Make sure my distance is correct. So my distance is 1. I need to put in 2 circles. I can set them both to be equal using my control key. Their diameters are 0.6, so I'll go ahead and put a 0.6 diameter. And we have 2 additional dimensions, a 0.85 and a 3, both being measured from the back edge. So this is 0.85. And the distance defining this circle is again measured from the back edge, and that distance is 3. Now we can do a features, extruded cut, and in this case, instead of doing a blind, we can use through all both, and that completes our part. Again, viewing it in hidden line mode, we can view the front view, and we see that we get the correct shapes and views of the hidden lines, and same thing on the top view. Go to our Evaluate tab to go to Mass Properties, and again we can find out what our volume is, 56 cubic inches, the surface area is 134.3 square inches, and the location of the Z center of mass is moved, but not too much. It's negative 2.37. All right, so that concludes problems 5 and 6 from the exam.